Now today though, William, Kate and little George will have a private day of course to recover from their very long flight after they touched down in a soggy Wellington yesterday. Despite the rain though, an official welcome was held at Government House. Our rural correspondent Robert Jobson was there and joins us now live. Good morning to you, Robert. There you are. Nice to see you. Tell us about yesterday, the magic moment they touched down, came down the stairs. Did the rain dampen the spirits?
Well, I don't think so. I think what it did, in fact, was just shorten the actual arrival because it was just really was so windy and rainy, and it was pretty awful. At some stage, there was talk that the actual plane was going to be diverted, and actually the proceedings were delayed a little while. But I think what happened at the ceremonial welcome at Government House was incredible. The Maori welcome, plus also the royal salute, and they clearly fully enjoyed themselves and the spectacle that it was. So yeah, I thought it was a terrific welcome. Befitting of a royal visit to New Zealand. Yes,
it looks like everyone did a pretty good job of battling the elements there yesterday, and there was a pretty close call with Kate's skirts, which she did a pretty good job of keeping control under. Was there much talk about that?
No, not really. I think that all the focus of attention, Ellie, was on Prince George. For once, I think the Duchess wasn't the total focus of attention. Maybe that would have been the story on another tour, but the fact that she was able to keep her skirt down and hold baby George, I think was quite impressive as she came down the stairs in wind and rain.
Yes, and of course with such a huge international media contingent there, 450 journos, we know there were 100 there yesterday. That moment with George coming down, that was what everyone was waiting for, and was it the showstopper that everyone imagined? Were there gasps? What was the reaction on the ground?
I don't think there was many gasps, but the truth of it is this image of the couple and Prince George arriving in New Zealand has gone right around the world. You know, it's going to be on the covers of all the top magazines in the world across America. I know that all the networks featured it, from the Good Morning America to the Today Show in America, plus all across, you know, Germany, Japan. So look, it's a huge event, and of course showcasing, I think, New Zealand while they're here too. So yeah, the focus of attention was going to be on Prince George. We all knew that, but it's now about managing that. I think the next big event will be at Wellington's Government House, when George is going to be there in that play group, and there'll be more attention on him then. But I think then it's going to change, and the focus will be on what actually are the royal couple here for, what they're going to do, and effectively the most important thing for them, I know, is to meet as many New Zealanders as possible.
Yes, and little George did a fine job yesterday, very unperturbed by the rain and the wind. He looked quite cruisy, in fact. Now, you mentioned tomorrow, that's of course their first official engagement. Tell us about that. What's the plan of attack for tomorrow?
Well, of course, I mean, there's a lot of talk, hasn't there, about what they're going to be doing on this day today. We know where they are, but we can't say for security reasons. But the truth of it is they're just going to be resting up from one hell of a flight, and then they're going to throw themselves into this full programme. One of the events is going to be at Wellington's Government House, which is again going to be quite closed, if you like, for mothers and babies, for parents and babies, where little George will be there playing among them, and there'll be quite a limited pool of photographers and camera crew there who will later share the information and the photographs showing him again. But I think that'll be it really on baby George until the tour is over, and we'll see him getting back on the plane. But it's great, I think, that the royal couple have picked New Zealand for this, because up until this moment we really haven't seen very much of George apart from at the christening in October. So I think it's great that we've got such great photographs.
Yes, indeed, and of course you're being part of that international media that's come on over from all parts of the world. What is the feeling amongst that? Is there such a level of excitement that you haven't seen in quite some time, given that it's Kate's first trip here and of course the baby's first trip altogether?
Oh, certainly. I think this is very, very exciting. It's probably one of the biggest royal tours I've done in 24 years. The sheer change in the way the media works, I think, is what it's all about. The amount of channels, the amount of networks, social media too, means that it really is being shown around the world instantly. Whereas before, you know, even in '83, when the Princess of Wales and the Prince of Wales were here with baby Prince William, you know, it was newspapers, radio, television. It was and there wasn't as many channels. So, you know, the very fact that we've got all of these ways to get this information out just shows you how the world has changed.
Indeed it has. Robert Jobson, thanks so much for joining us this morning. We will see you again tomorrow morning.